So you just got a PC and want some free games to play, or maybe just looking for new games to play and don't want to spend money? Here are some game recommendations that are free on PC and Steam. First, we have Spectre Divide, which is a fairly new free-to-play tactical first-person shooter that features a unique duality mechanic that allows players to control two bodies. It's their main character and a Spectre, which makes the 3v3 kind of almost feel like a 6v6 sometimes. It's a cool little innovative feature that kind of makes you able to attack from multiple angles or re-enter battles quickly after being taken out. And it has a pretty nice comic shading art style that is really appealing to the eye. Then we have Once Human, which is a multiplayer survival game. The game is kind of set in a post-apocalyptic world. You kind of just navigate a desolate landscape that's overrun by these monsters and supernatural threats. The game kind of combines survival elements, combat. There's a big focus on exploration, crafting. You basically just scavenge for resources, build shelters, form alliances. It does have both PvE and PvP modes. And again, for being a free game, the graphics are actually pretty cool. It's easily a game that you can sink in countless hours into. Now, Dark and Darker is a game I recently made a video on. It's a first-person multiplayer dungeon crawler. It's basically what you want in a first-person fantasy type of game. You have different classes like, Warlock, Wizard, Barbarian, Bard, stuff like that. Every class has their own little unique abilities and playstyle. It almost also has some kind of roguelite elements to it where you're kind of going into random dungeons. You're basically just looting, trying to get the best loot, trying to make money off of that loot. Sometimes you'll encounter players, which is very dangerous because you never know if they're just going to completely destroy you. The game is free, but you can also use real money to kind of unlock the ability to use many different classes and kind of keep the classes. Otherwise, you're only stuck to one class. You'll have to delete it to make another class. I've had a lot of fun on. Luckily, I have gotten a lot better. I was very bad at the game. The game does have a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it's a very, very fun and very addicting game. Then there's MOBAs, which stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. There's a good handful of these out there. Most of them are free. That whole combo is probably for another video. But to highlight just one right now, there is League of Legends. You do need to download the Riot Games launcher for it. I know there's a negative connotation around the game because of toxic competitive communities and whatnot. I played the game for the first time recently, and I actually quite really enjoyed it. Probably didn't get deep enough to, feel the wrath of this toxic community everybody talks about. But if you're interested in game style like this is probably the biggest MOBA out there if this is something that you're interested in. And like I said, it's basically just free to play. And finally, we have MMOs. And similar to MOBAs, there are so many out there, probably warrants its own video. But on Steam, you can play something like Lost Ark for free, which I did sink in a handful of hours in. But I lost interest mostly because I didn't really have anyone to play with. But the game is quite decent for a free MMO. You can also play something like World of Warcraft, which I have a video on playing as a first timer. And the first 20 levels of gameplay are free. So give that a try if it appeals to you. After the first 20 levels, I believe it's a monthly subscription. So those are some of my personal recommendations for free games on PC and Steam. If you have any other recommendations you'd like other people to see, comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.